Greatly succeeded tier has 3 teams. And one of these teams, I feel like we can move over to best success story, but it don't matter. Both of these tiers are about teams that have been great in comparison to preseason expectations. The first one we'll talk about is the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns right now are a play-in team, but before the season started, nobody thought this team had the identity that they were going to have. They are one of the hardest playing teams in all of basketball. They're so well coached. Everybody plays balls to the wall every single possession. That is super, super valuable in the NBA, where, especially if you're in the Western Conference, one game could be the difference between you making the postseason versus not. So them having that level of enthusiasm on a nightly basis has helped them get to the point where they have 42 wins on the year. You know, they traded away Kevin Durant for Dillon Brooks and Jalen Green. And Jalen Green missed a ton of this season, and they were still able to be one of the better teams in basketball. Dillon Brooks was averaging a 20 ball pre-injury, and shout out to Dillon Brooks. He was averaging a little 20 ball, and nobody would have expected, based on his NBA standings, that he would be able to do that. I'm so happy that he is officially back, even if, it hasn't looked as pretty, but he had missed, I don't know, a month and a half, 2 months of basketball. So I didn't expect him to come in and be Michael Jordan or anything. But Devin Booker continues to just be electric. Colin Gillespie's another most improved player candidate that I guess I didn't mention earlier. But they have exceeded expectations greatly, so they deserve to be in this tier. The next one is the LA Lakers. It's a somber time in Lakerland. Over the last 48 hours, we found out that Luka Doncic is going to miss the rest of the regular season and is out indefinitely with a hammy. And then, I don't want to say out of nowhere, but out of nowhere, we found out that Austin Reeves is going to be out for the rest of the regular season, needs 4 to 6 weeks to come back. 4 to 6 weeks, they may not be playing basketball anymore. So this team that had greatly exceeded expectations as a second-year 50-win team under J.J. Redick may be going into the postseason as, if you're a Western Conference team, you want to look at that Lakers team. You're hoping maybe you get the Lakers that may have a Luka with a bad hammy and no Austin Reeves at all. It's so sad, man. I feel for Lakers fans, which is something maybe I shouldn't do because y'all got a gazillion championships compared to my 6. And I wasn't even alive for those 6. Well, I was alive for a few of them, but wasn't really conscious for most of those championships. But to watch 77 games of a season. Oh, shout out to Luka. Get well soon. To watch 77 games of a season and for contention to be taken away from you in just one day, I feel for you, dog. I truly, truly do. Maybe there is a world where Luka comes back from the hammy and he's still the playoff dominant player that we know him to be. But I'm just fearful of hamstring injuries now. I think we just saw too many of them this season. We saw too many of them turn into bigger injuries just last season. I'm scared for Luka to come back, but I know him as a competitor, them as wanting to be a competitive team. He's going to try to do it, and let's hope, knock on wood, everything goes exactly as planned. But going back to the regular season part of it, exceeded expectations. They had a decent offseason, right, on paper. DeAndre Ayton for basically nothing, Marcus Smart for basically nothing, Jalen Ray for basically nothing, and it felt like a gap year. I think something I've used a lot when talking about this Laker team. They're going to have $100 million in cap space this season, but really it's like a lot of opportunity in 2027 where you could potentially have bigger names in the market. So this felt like a year that, Bron, we love you. Maybe this is the last hurrah with us. We're going to try to be competitive, but if we're not, don't worry. The next 2 offseasons are really, really important for the Luka Doncic era. And then they were able to flip a switch post-All-Star for the second year in a row to have a ton of momentum going into the postseason, again, before the injuries of Luka and Reeves. A crazy great story, right? I don't remember what their over-under was, but I'm assuming they hit the over on this one. They truly, truly greatly exceeded expectations because before the season started, there were people that didn't even have the Lakers in the postseason. And one thing I will pat myself in the back on, I've always said, as long as Luka Doncic is on the team, I'm giving them an extra 5 wins than what people expect. That's how good of a player Luka Doncic is, and he's proven that every year. It feels like of his career that he's been healthy. So greatly exceeded them. Lastly, in the greatly exceeded, and this team is teetering between greatly exceeded and best success story of the NBA, is the Detroit Pistons. Last year, they were the best success story in the NBA. 28 straight losses the season before, new coach, same core, boom, 6 seed in the NBA playoffs versus a veteran team, and we take them to 6, if I'm not mistaken. We'll be back next season. But I don't think many people expect them to be back next season to be the best team in the Eastern Conference. So many people are playing elite level basketball. Kate Cunningham had an All-NBA first team case before he went down with his injury. Danis Jenkins played 23 minutes all of last season, and now he's played almost 1,400 minutes, and now he's starting because Kate Cunningham is out, and the team has not missed a beat. That's how greatly coached they are and how much they are bought in. Before the season started, you question what type of money would Jalen Duren end up getting. Hey, it's all of it. The entire thing. He's going to make All-NBA this season, I think. It's the entire thing. And I remember watching a ton of Jalen Duren last season, and he was good, but you question, like, how good he would be in the pick and roll for his future. He just had a lot of brain farts, I guess the best way to describe when you watched him last season defensively. And this season, a lot of that is gone. Like, he's really locked in. He's taking mid-range jump shots. He's bullying opposing teams, like, not just their center. They're sending 2, and he's bullying them. It's just been a great season from start to finish, from JB, Cade, Jalen, Danis, and so on. Like, they lost some pretty important people to last year's success. Dennis Schroeder got to the team last year, and he looked great. Malik Beasley hit the most threes maybe ever for their team, and he's gone. They're gone. They replaced him with Karis LeVert, who's had a ton of ups and downs, more downs than ups, and then Duncan Robinson, and they were still able to be great. So, like, maybe I move them to best stories because I'm talking myself into them being way better than anybody could have ever anticipated. Because some people thought they'd take a step back based on their offseason because that's how important Malik Beasley was and so on. But they have exceeded all expectations.
Hit subscribe for more news, highlights, and analysis from the NBA on NBC.